Hi guys, and welcome back to your English classes. This is module number 2. In this module, we are going to be talking about a number of topics such as passive voice, collocations, confusing words, subjunctive, reciprocal pronouns, and so on. But today we'll be focusing only on the passive voice. Shh, listen carefully. Let's find out what is a passive voice. The passive voice is used in both formal and informal settings or speech. It is used mostly by native speakers. I know this is not the easiest topic to understand, but guys, I would hope that at the end of this presentation you will be able to get a better understanding of the passive voice, how to identify it, and also how to use it. Okay, so we use a passive voice when we don't want to say who or what did the action, who is responsible for this, who broke my pencil, who stole my bag. We use a passive voice when we either don't know who did the thing or we do not want to take responsibility for who did the thing. Okay, this way we do not have to take responsibility. Okay, all right. If the object is the most important, then we focus on it by using the passive voice. If the object is more important, for example, the pencil. Who broke my pencil? Sandra broke my pencil. If the pencil is the most important thing, then I could simply say, my pencil was broken. No importa quién. No, it doesn't matter who broke the pencil. Yes? Let's continue. What is the difference between the passive voice and the active voice? This is very important, guys. You need to know the difference in order to be able to identify each of these. With the active voice, the subject or the who did what is more important. However, sin embargo, with the passive voice, the object or what happened is more important. For example, in the example I gave earlier, my pencil was broken. What happened? My pencil was broken. Es más importante que who did it? Sandra. Es más importante que Sandra. Sandra broke the pencil. No es importa. Más what happened? My pencil was broken. So the passive voice focuses more on the object or what actually happened, often in the past, which is more important than the person who did the action, who should be held responsible. Okay, let's look at another example here. My sister ate all my sweets. This is active voice. Why is it active? It is active because we actually know who is responsible for eating the sweets. This one is not objective. It is objective when the focus is placed more on what happened. For example, all my sweets were eaten. This is passive because the focus is placed on the sweets and not my sister. Okay, so passive voice in present and in past. Passive voice in the present tense and also in the past tense. Let's take a look at this, guys. Look at the formula here. We have the object, which in this case below is the book. We have the verb to be. The verb to be could be in present or in past. In this case, we have was, which is in past tense. Then you'd have the action verb, which would be, in this case, written. But the action verb here is actually in the past participle. It's not in the past. Simple past, it is in the past participle. So the book was written by Chris. The book was written by Chris. The focus here is on the object, the book. So here we have passive voice. How would you write the active voice of this? The active voice would be Chris wrote the book. Chris wrote the book. This is the active voice. But the passive voice, the book was written by Chris. Let's continue. So we have the affirmative, negative, and the yes or no question form. And also we have the WH question. So let's take a look at one of each. Affirmative in the present tense. This table is made of wood. This table is made of wood. This is affirmative. In the past tense, the telephone was invented in 1876 by Alexander G. Bell. Negative. iPhones are not manufactured in the USA. Glass was not used before 5000 BC. Is coffee only grown in Colombia? Here, if you can see, we focus on the coffee. Were washing machines created in Europe? Here we're focusing on washing machines. What are cell phones made of? We are focusing on cell phone. So guys, passive voice is not necessarily difficult, but if you do not understand how to identify them, then it can be a bit challenging. But with practice, you can definitely get it. Let's continue. So we have passive voice here with modal verbs. I'm sure you're already aware or have been exposed to a number of modal verbs. Let's take a look at a few of them. Can, could, podría, may, might, must, deber, and should. Modals are helping verbs that express possibility. In this case, might and may express possibility. Ability, can and could. Duty, must. Obligation, permission, may. And advisability, which would be should, consejo. Yes, advice. Okay, let's look at an example using the verb, the modal verb can in the negative form. You can't make mistakes. You can't make mistakes. This is an active voice example. You can't make mistakes. The passive voice would be a mistake can't be made. Note that in the first example, the you, which is the subject, is placed at the beginning of the sentence. We're focusing on you. You can't let that happen. You can't make the mistake. However, in the second example, we are focusing on the mistake. A mistake can't be made. Passive voice is used when the focus is on the object affected by an action. Guys, I hope so far that you understand. Remember, any concerns, any doubts, send me a message, send me an email, and I will clarify for you as soon as possible. Here we have some examples of modals and modal-like expressions. Let's look at the subject in the example here, the crew. The crew will not be replaced next month. We are focusing on the crew. The crew should not be replaced next month. The crew must not be replaced next month. The crew cannot be replaced next month. The crew had better not be replaced next month. Notice, guys, that here we are focusing on the crew. In this case, it would be the subject of the sentence. There's some other example. This is the same. Okay, that's the same. Okay, passive voice with modals and modal-like expression. Let's continue. Let's look at some yes or no questions here. Modal will, should, must, and can. These are all modals, guys. You must remember that when we use modals, when the verb follows, it does not have an S on it. With the verb following the modal is always the base form of the verb. It's always in its base form. These are some examples. Just take a look at them and try to understand. Here we have some modals and their uses. Just read through them and practice. All right, guys, we have a link here. You can check the link and you can just take a look at the opening film of Valerian and the City of the Thousand Planets. And then there's some questions here just for you to practice. This is not mandatory, but I would suggest that you just watch the clip and just practice the questions for your personal benefits. And then remember, guys, these are the deadlines. This Saturday coming, December the 7th, will be your quiz from 9 a.m. Saturday morning, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And I have extended the date of the two other activities from Saturday to Sunday. So Sunday before midnight, these activities must be uploaded to the platform. You can take a look at these here with about your assignments. And remember, if you have any questions, just let me know as soon as possible and I will clarify. All right, guys, so that's it for passive voice. Remember, if you have any concerns, any questions, pause the video, go back and re-listen to it, and I will definitely clarify any doubts you have based on the emails or the messages that you would have sent to me. Thank you, guys. We will talk soon and continue to practice.